Hello.
Howdy.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
What up? What
There,
up?
Russ?
There we go.
Hey
Hey,
there.
how's it going, everyone?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
Doing good. Thanks for everyone for joining. Excited to share some of the really cool updates today. Got lots of fun stuff going on. We got a little bit of a more structured agenda today. So we're going to be going over there's going to be three main things on the agenda today. I'm going to put that in the chat. We're going to be going over the updates that we just pushed yesterday. Then we're going to be going over what we're working on next, some of the features, some of the things that you guys been asking for. And then we'll do open Q&A after that. All righty. Cool. So we've been working. So for everyone that I've been talking to last few days, thanks for joining. We've been working extremely hard on getting this calendar booking feature out for everyone. And it's, I would say pretty battle tested now in terms of the feedback that we've gotten on some of our agencies that have been using it in the early tests. So it's working well. We put up a new use case that kind of walks through the whole process of how to structure a base system prompt in relation to using the new calendar booking feature as well as the lead generation features. So all of that I'm going to be packaging together in a new YouTube video tutorial that will be coming out probably Thursday or Friday of this week or so. But it's going to be walking through kind of the whole 9 yards of how to get this whole process set up. And I'll share that quickly before we go into the other stuff. So if you go to the website under use cases, under lead generation, there's this new example. This is one of our most successful agencies is in the real estate investing space. They purchase homes of people that want to get rid of their homes, and then they'll work on them, fix them up, and then sell them off. So they get a lot of leads of people wanting to sell their home. So they need to collect the data of what somebody, the information about their home, and then provide them with a ballpark quote of what their house might be worth, and then encourage the user to book a meeting. And so this flow, and you guys can walk through this, and I'll show you the actual example of this in the dashboard in a sec. It's basically just the AI is going to control the conversation to ask, how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, what's the square footage, and then it's going to actually calculate a ballpark quote of what the house might be worth, and then ask if the user would like to schedule an appointment. If the user would like to schedule an appointment, the AI agent will go to the calendar, the Google Calendar that's connected during the chat live to pull current availability over the next 7 days. And then it will provide 3 different time slots based off of the different time slots that you've created and set up in the dashboard. Once the user has found a time that they like and provide their email, it will automatically generate a new meeting and put it directly on your Google Calendar. And then you're also able to then take all of that information that you've collected and then send all of that information to any CRM to update a pipeline or update contact fields, however you would like. And so this is what the base system prompt is. And then this is the actual written out. So you can just take this and copy and paste this into a bot in your own account and should just work. So what that looks like essentially is this. Oh yeah, so this is one of the tests that I did for a tutorial yesterday. So just walking through, it's asking me the different questions, and then it provides me the quote, and then it gives me the different times to select. I selected a time, and then it added a thing on my calendar. And so the whole process of setting this up was adding in that base system prompt from this page right here. So I basically you can take this right here, copy it and paste it into this base system prompt page right here. And then for the leads tab, I set up the custom questions to ask specifically from the user these different questions. And so when the AI agent receives the responses for these different questions, all that information can then be pulled out and then sent to a CRM. And so you can see all this is in this lead data, and this is formatted in JSON, which any CRM should be able to take in and then distribute out organically into any other automation sequence. In GHL, you can set this up manually or you can set this up to automatically populate custom contact fields, which is how I'd say 95% of agencies are using this. And I know Connor's on the call. We got that set up over the weekend, which is really cool. So this is probably one of the most powerful aspects of the platform now, is being able to like extract the data or extract their answers from the conversation when they answer the questions, and then update the client's CRM so that way their pipeline is updated, their email list is growing, all the good things. So that's just the lead generation side. Then there's the scheduling side. And so this page, which is now live for everybody, you can now connect your Google Calendar. When you connect it, it might show like a warning symbol, and that's because the app is under review by Google right now. So our white label app is called AI Meeting Scheduler, which is like completely brandless. So as long as people know that they're setting this up as an AI meeting scheduler, like theoretically that should make sense to people. And then, so in this page, you can set your time zone, set your appointment duration, and then your time slots for different days. We're coming out with a lot of updates in the future to update this to more closely match what we would all expect, from like a Calendly or something like that, where you could do multiple time slots per day. You could set up different event types like group bookings or round robin bookings, stuff like that. So appointment scheduling and lead generation, those are the two kind of big main things that will be able to provide the most value to clients. So that's kind of where we're really trying to push the focus. Any questions on all that before I go on? Because I know there's a lot of stuff that could kind of come up from that.
Quick question, Ross. When
Hey, Tim.
when you have that flow working, I notice in the example you've got the email address being requested after you've done all of those initial questions about the size of the property and so on. When we're putting lead generation in at the moment, it's always asking that lead generation question as the first response, regardless of what prompts we're putting in. It's sort of jumping that to the front of the queue. Is there a way to work around that?
So we're working on being able to pull that email into the confirmation. We have to have it either ask or say, we have to basically confirm what email you want to schedule it for. So sorry,
I wasn't being clear. So the question was, at what point can you define when the email address is requested?
At any point.
At any point. So when we're doing the lead generation request now, it always puts that as the first question that's asked. So it says, before I can proceed, please give me your full name and email address. And then you can have your conversation flow.
Yeah.
But in your example there, it's gone through and it's asked all of the questions about, the size of the property, all this, that, and the other, and then asks for the email address, which is a much nicer way of doing it.
Gotcha. So when you create your questions in the leads tab right now, they're asked in the order that they were created. So the ordering that is available for the lead form is not there for the in chat yet. So right now it just defaults to the way that to the order that you've created them in. So if email is the first one that you created, that's going to be the first question that's asked.
Okay.
So to change that, if you'd like, you could make it be like the 5th or 6th question, and then it'll be later in the chat.
Got you. So if we don't have a set of questions to ask, it will always ask for that first name and email address first.
I see. Yes. If that is the only question that's in there, then yes.
Okay, got you.
So what you would like to have happen is for it to be able to basically engage with users first, maybe for a preset of answer or set of questions and answers, and then ask it for the email.
Yeah, sure.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me write that down.
And excuse me, isn't that just a thing for the base prompt to be set up?
And what do you mean?
Just putting in the base prompt to firstly ask a couple questions and then collect the email. Wouldn't that solve it?
Yeah, we did try that. We said, look, I forget what the example said. It said, you know, after the second question has been replied to, ask for the email address. So we tried to ask it that way. So maybe we need to frame the question in a different way, Lucas.
Yeah, well, I don't know, just popped up.
Okay. That might work, but it might contradict with the code that we use to extract the data for the questions out of the conversation. Let me write that down, Tim, and then I'll get back to you on that one. Would you visualize it as being like, oh, they could ask a certain amount of questions and then it would answer, and then like, is that visually how you would want to implement it?
Yes, because we don't know the types of question that a user might ask initially, unless it's a very succinct messaging process like you've got in your example, which is great. Then it can be defined. But as a more generic one, for say just a general visitor coming to a website asking about products or services, maybe they get to ask a couple of questions first and then jump in and say, now ask for the question.
Because what I'm thinking is we could add a little like settings bar here that would allow you to like, I want to allow the user to engage with the chatbot first, like checkbox select, enable that. And then there will be a little option like, oh, I could do 5 questions and answers before it asks for these questions. That could work.
Where would they be inserted into either into the base prompt or the knowledge base, Ross?
Which, the questions?
Yeah, the lead collection questions. So how do you know where they are in relation to what's going ahead and afterwards?
It's appended. I understand what you're saying. So the base system prompt is what you have in it, but you can reference the questions that are being asked in the lead form, because all that information is appended to the base system prompt. It's all packaged together and then sent to OpenAI.
Okay. Yeah.
So you could say like, oh, I want you to, it can reference that. So, and what we're working on is being able to have custom fields. And actually, this is something that Connor brought up yesterday, was being able to bring in custom fields from these questions that you get answers from, and then put those in your base system prompt, or be able to have like business name or sub account name as a variable that you could put into a bot, into a sub account. That way, when you clone a bot into the account, the information that is pre-populated in their sub account is automatically added into the prompt.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because you tend to be putting that one in the prompt. You won't need it in the prompt then anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
You don't need it in the knowledge base anymore.
Well, the goal is to structure it as much as possible, so that way we can do actions upon it. So it doesn't really behoove us to ask questions in the base system prompt, because then we can't collect the data from that point. If we add that same question as a lead form question, we can extract the data from that answer and then reference that question in the base system prompt.
I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. So moving right along, this is the updates in the change log, and we actually made this as an update in the dashboard. So now that we have this little tag up in the right-hand column, and you can actually go in here and see all of the latest updates. and see all of the new cards that are of new items. And that's only shown to agencies. We also added a new quarterly pricing option, which is 50% off the monthly price. This is available for everybody. And then we also updated the plans entirely. So, and everybody that was on the existing agency tier plan is automatically upgraded to this. So if you're already paying, you now have unlimited bots, unlimited everything. So that's the big announcement for today, is everyone gets unlimited now on the agency plan. And then we updated the other two as well. So the middle tier is now 30 and 30 and 60K, and the startup is 5, 5, and 10. And we also added a free tier as well that you get one bot, one sub account, and 1,000 credits per month. But you obviously don't get some of the white labeling features. It's available for everyone today. We're going to keep this going until the end of the month, and then kind of basically see how this works and then go from there. We've added a bug bounty program. So for those of you that have already submitted bugs, we've typically already been doing this, but now we actually have a program so you can actually report them and tag it in a support ticket. There's actually an option now that says bug or error. And this could be anything. If you find a spelling error, if you find just an issue, kind of anywhere in the platform. And if you let us know about it, we'll reward you, because we really appreciate all that feedback. Moving right along, marketplace. This is going to be a very exciting opportunity for, I think, a lot of agencies to be able to start cloning and utilizing the bots that other people make and optimize. So as an agency, we'll be able to see pre-made agents that are for different niches or different use cases. And then when you want to use one of those, you can simply clone it into your account and then use it as however you'd like, basically. This will also have a revenue potential option in the future as well, where if you think that someone might want to purchase this from you, you can add and sell these, because we'll be able to create products via your connected Stripe account. It's not really a big focus of ours, but it's something that a lot of people want to be able to use pre-made solutions or pre-made agents, and then just customize them slightly for their use case. That's the major use case of this function. And then, as we expand beyond that, we'll add in we're going to add a whole nother section for upsells, and where you can upsell to your clients your services. So your clients basically will have a dashboard, and they'll see a marketplace. And then if you want to upsell them on website development services, like these are your services as an agency that you want to sell to your clients. You could do all of that in this marketplace dashboard place. White label documentation is a big one. This is going to be showcasing the major parts of the platform in relation to creating and optimizing the AI agents for clients. So this is a customer facing for your agency. And it basically walks people through how to create them, how to create personality, tone, chain of thought, all the, how to create a base system prompt, all the different things. And it will be similar to the API white label documentation, where your brand name, your logo, your domain, everything will be pre-populated, even your subscription tiers, because there will be there'll be a section about pricing. It will all be pre-populated with the information that you add based off of your subscriptions that you create in the dashboard. Changelog widget we went over. There's a bunch of just UX UI improvements. The base system prompt window now expands to meet the size of the base system prompt, little stuff like that. Chatbots are default public now. There wasn't really, nobody really ever made them private, so there's not really any use case for that. And that basically just allows you to save 3 clicks when you want to share it with a client, basically. And then, yeah, just a bunch of other numerous and miscellaneous items. So full video here that Tim did, you guys can check out. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing another kind of a full walkthrough of how to set up lead generation, how to connect it to certain platforms like Zapier and Go High Level, doing the lead generation, scheduling, and sending and receiving messages. And I think that will be, I'm going to try to make that as quick as possible, so that way people can use that to get started as quickly as possible. All right, so that's that was all the updates that we just pushed in 1.14.1. Open it up to any quick questions on any of that.
Okay.
Is the mood now to call it an AI agent rather than a chatbot? Is that better? You're thinking that that's a better direction to go because of the added functionalities, you know?
Yes, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah. The functionality is far beyond just the messaging, and it's only going to extend based off of what other, you know, functionality we want to program in.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we're looking for OpenAI to become and basically provide to the entire market and industry is they are educating the masses in the way that we think about how these applications work in relation to what we're trying to do. So certain things like the terms that they're using to describe different places or different features about how AI works or how to create custom GPTs, we're going to start to adopt these and start using them ourselves. So where GPT, they're calling them GPTs, you know, that's great, but ours are going to be AI agents. At least that's the way we're going to promote them. Cool.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
Makes it better than using chatbots in a way, because people still go back to the ManyChat kind of sort of chatbots, don't they?
Yep. Yep. And we see, I mean, we see a lot of agencies still trying to think of more of a like the formulated structure rather than it being a conversation that can then do function. And I think that's a difference that once you realize that and can kind of flip the script on it, and the way that we've tried to implement that is still have the structure by providing the lead generation and data collection and extraction. And that is, I think, one of the most important parts is like, even though it's conversational, it's still providing the same structure that you would get with, you know, something that's more of like those crazy spiderwebbed flows. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Ross. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining. Just missed all the new updates. I'll send you the changelog link, but lots of fun stuff. Scheduling's live for everybody, which is great. And then
That's
so now,
awesome. I love the web design.
Yeah, super exciting.
The messaging. Yeah, the messaging is awesome. Love what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it. All right, so there's so many things on this public roadmap, and if you're not familiar, you can join and actually add and upvote items yourself if you like, you know, certain things other than others, or if, you know, there's a feature that you'd like to see on the platform, you can go here and add it. We're taking all this into, you know, more and more consideration as time goes on, as we fix up and finalize some of these more core features and core elements. The last feature, and this is kind of the one we touched, some of us touched on this last week, but we're going to reiterate it because we pulled down every single one of our comments from YouTube, and 80%, I'd say 85% of the comments were asking, how do I integrate this with Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, like natively? And this is almost in direct, opposite of what we were discussing last week in terms of like, focusing on the core features. And no, but the thing is, it mimicked what we mentioned in the sense that no one asked for anything else. So we were right. We were on the right track in the sense that we need to make the integrations for these 3 things, and then that's it, because no one's asking for anything else. So that is going to influence the way that we kind of push some of these next updates to finalize that last feature, because so many people in the community that are waiting to sign up are looking as that being a feature that they want to have without having to use a Go High Level or a Zapier to be able to have that function. So very interesting route of events from all the feedback from everyone. So thank you for everybody for all that feedback. I mean, this is how we make a powerful, really good platform. So Sean, Graham, everyone, thank you so much. All right, so now open Q&A. We're basically going to be doing a lot of tutorials this week about like how to do different things with the calendar booking and the lead generation features. So if there's any tutorials you guys want specifically, feel free to mention that out, because I'll add that to a list of videos I'll make. But yeah, open Q&A. If anybody has any questions, feel free to hop on.
Are you with the marketplace? Are you doing like a prompt based set? Are you kind of based on generic kind of case scenarios, if you like? So chiropractor, gym owner.
Yeah, it'll be kind of a mix of niche and then function. So like the example that I showcased earlier is the real estate with lead generation with calendar booking. There might be scenarios where, one or the other may not be needed in that specific moment or that specific function for that agent. So that example would not have that feature or, have that connection. The idea is you could just click a button and clone it, and then the base system prompt, anything that's associated with the lead form questions are already built out.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And the idea is you're going to, instead of having to put in like titles as such, you could eventually, it will be like placeholders. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. We're also going to be adding in commenting. So in the base system prompt, you can do / and then type out a line of text that will give context to what this section in the base system prompt is for. So for those of us that are familiar with programming and coding, like that's a comment line essentially for the base system prompt. And what our code will do is it's going to strip out all the comments prior to sending it to ChatGPT. So that way it's only it's only seen by the user. And so this will help us drastically, where it's like, hey, this is where it's telling the bot on how to be its personality and the tone. This is the train of thought and how I want you to control the conversation, and that will be a very helpful feature for these clonable agents from the marketplace to help people understand kind of what, what the hell is even going on with these things. So, and there's lots of fun ideas to kind of come around this thing. So to start, it will all be free in terms of, adding them and then downloading them. We're thinking of rewarding users. So like, for example, if one of you guys wanted to add one and people started cloning it, then for like every person that cloned it into their account, we would reward you with maybe 500 or 1,000 credits, and try to gamify it a little bit so that way everyone's, getting a little action or able to promote your agency in another way to maybe other agencies. I'm starting to see a lot of cross agency work being done. Shout out to the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, people are making deals in there already. So that's something I never thought would happen, but that's already happening. So feel free to join that, Stammer.ai/Discord. And then, I totally lost my train of thought, but yeah.
I asked in the Discord quite a strange question, which you did answer to, which was, I had somebody ask me if there was many transactions in which the bot had interacted. So the typical scenario would be an e-com site where there might be 100,000 transactions a day.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily the bot would interact with everybody, but the point is it could be a large number. Is it per conversation or is it per interaction that these charges are calculated? These
Credits.
Yeah.
It's per response.
Okay, so from ChatGPT.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
We are working on adding GPT-4 Turbo in the next week or so. These Zoom things. That is cheaper. We're also going to be reducing the cost of GPT-4 just base. So currently GPT 3.5 is 1 credit. So if you use GPT 3.5, that's 1 credit. Currently GPT-4 is 25 credits.
Mm-hmm.
GPT-4 Turbo is supposed to be half of, is technically half the cost of GPT-4. So we're not only going to do that, but we're going to reduce the cost of GPT-4 first. So both of them should be cheaper overall. I'm ballparking that GPT-4 should be about 15 to 20 credits. And then that means that GPT-4 Turbo, which has the same functionality, should be like 7 to 10 credits.
So what does Turbo gain other than cost?
Sorry?
What does 4 Turbo gain other than cost reduction?
A larger context window. So the ability for us to add more questions and answers from the same conversation in the base system prompt at the same time.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So the input is 100x basically what it was. The output is still the same.
Right.
So, and that's one of the ways that we're maintaining our like risk, so to speak, for not only us, but also for everybody else. Like limiting like somebody can't just go in and upload a book, as a thing or download a book, because then that would just rack up costs like crazy. Yeah.
If you don't have sorry, I'm kind of monopolizing. If you don't have anything to add to the knowledge base, you can't get past it, can you?
I will put like, hey, in just the text. I'll just put like, hey.
I kind of like made something up to try and see what would work. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done, hey, I've done there's so many things that like you can do with the referencing of data and the debug mode. And I'll pop this up because this will be good for everyone watching the replay on this. So the debug mode is a section in a chatbot where you can see what is being captured from the database. So if I go into one of my chatbots here, or one of my AI agents, if I go to update, click into advanced settings, and then at the bottom, there's a section called debug mode, and I have it enabled right here. So my knowledge base has, information in the text. It has, I don't think it has any files, but it has it has website data, and it has a bunch of Q&A. So it has multiple different types of data types. And so if I just type it, hello, what's going to happen is under here, it's going to pop up with 2 different sections. This first section is called knowledge-based search results. And so the way this works is when I type in this message, hello, what the AI agent is going to do is it's going to take my message and it's going to search it against all the data and everything that's in the knowledge base. And what happens is when we get responses back, we get the top 3 responses, ID 0, ID 1, ID 2. And these results are calculated with a level of certainty in terms of what the AI is calculating as it being a perfect match. And so, for example, if you have a question and an answer in your knowledge base that was the word hello, the certainty match would be like 99.8%, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what happens is it returns the top 3 results that it knows or calculates to have the highest probability. And then all of this information is appended to your base system prompt, which is this section right here. All of that information is appended to this. And then all of this is packaged together and then sent to OpenAI with the instructions that, hey, I want you to respond to this message using all of this data as context. It then generates the response, and then it sends back this as the result or as the response. And so what you can start to do is you can play around with the information that you add into the knowledge base and then start seeing what happens when you do certain queries to get certain results. And this is also how you can fix bad answers. So for example, if you have lots and lots and lots of data in a knowledge base, and we see this happen a lot when agencies or businesses will try to scrape, 1,000 web pages or half of Wikipedia. Too much data is there's too much. So when it goes through this process of trying to find the top results, more often than not, it will find, random URLs and random information that doesn't really have any relation or context to what the user is asking. It's returning it because it has the highest probability because it's an exact word-to-word match because it's some random URL, even though it doesn't provide any context to the conversation. So the way to mitigate this, and I know this is a long-winded answer, but it's a combination of adding in good data that is in relation and contextual to what a user might actually be engaging with this AI agent for. So there's no need for me to put in information on here for this bot or this agent about the technical aspects of the API because they're not, these people that are interacting with this agent are not customers yet, most likely.
Right. Yeah.
So I can leave that information out. So that way the information that I am giving them is all contextual based off of who this potential user could be.
Mm-hmm. So what's the fundamental difference between a lead and a question and answer?
So a question and answer is a data source.
I got you. So you're not retaining the information.
Correct. Yeah. So the QA data is stuff that is what you would want the AI to be trained upon.
Yes.
The lead data information is the information that it's extracting from each user interaction conversation.
Gotcha. Yeah, they are different. Yeah.
So debug mode is a really good way to kind of figure out kind of maybe what's going good or what's going bad with the agent, and then see how to update your prompt or update the information that's in your knowledge base. Connor, can I bring you in real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I wanted to just kind of bring the conversation that Connor I had on Sunday was probably one of the best calls I've had with an agency owner over the last few months. No joke.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gave me so much to think about. And one
I
of
was
the
gonna
things that
text you a follow-up of all the stuff that we
of all the
talked
stuff, right?
about.
I want if you're open to it, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I'd like for you to maybe share the agency model that you've been leveraging with GHL, the one account model. Like,
Yeah.
that changed kind of how I was thinking about how to make a tutorial for someone that's brand new who wants to keep costs in check. I don't want to get full GHL yet. Like, how do I do this efficiently, like as quickly as possible? So please.
Yeah, so essentially the way that I'm running ads is through one Facebook page, basically like an industry branded Facebook page, because you can only go high level to a single Facebook page, right? So if you have multiple Facebook pages, then you need multiple sub accounts.
So you picked a niche. You picked one niche, and then you
Yeah.
made a Facebook account around that niche being a like maybe like a brandless version of the people that could service this industry.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And I don't want to give out your niche. That's why I'm being
yeah.
vague.
You could think about like for roofers, like American
There we go.
Roofer Association, something
Perfect
like
example. Perfect example.
that. That way, all of the leads are coming inbound to one CRM, which means that I just need to build out one chatbot for one industry that will collect. Basically, the leads will come in, they'll be tagged with like all of the client's information, right? I feel like it'd be easier to show it. Should I share my screen and just show how this is set up?
Yeah. And I won't upload this part to YouTube.
Okay. All right. You
Wait.
haven't been recording
No,
this?
I was.
Oh, you wanted to stop. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Here's the best part about this. So I hired multiple operators to handle the leads that are coming in and ask these questions and then move them over. In 5 minutes of logging into Stammer, I set up the chatbot and was messing around with it. And after like just a few minor tweaks, it was better. And it doesn't better than my operators questions. It didn't ask stupid questions, like avoiding the entire onboarding and training process of new operators. And like our operators can handle maybe like 5 to 10 clients a piece, whereas this chatbot has unlimited scalability. So it's hilarious and absolutely phenomenal what this is going to do to allow like my potential to scale while maintaining incredible margins. And like I'm only, paying a part-time operator $500 a month. And now that, so 2 operators, $1,000 a month. Now that cost is going down to like right after this call, I'm gonna buy the new one on a quarterly basis, but like $100 a month for unlimited scalability.
Not bad.
Doing all the lead follow-up 24/7, automatically getting to them within every lead within a minute. And then having that conversation right away. Whereas right now, these conversations are, taking days to respond to everyone. And they're only being followed up with between 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. because that's when they're scheduled to work.
Yeah.
So like absolute game changer.
Stoked that it's working well for you. But the aspects that you were telling me about so I'm stoked that you're loving Stammer, but I'm even more interested in, and I'm glad that you mentioned this whole concept of this one page. So like if you're new, if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're new just starting out, think of that as like the structure of how you want to run and start your agency. Pick a niche, run a campaign, as the front of these potential clients, and then you're now doing you're not even generating leads, but you're doing the follow-up, collecting the information and updating their pipeline and potentially scheduling meetings automatically for them.
And yeah, that's the service that people want as well, because, if a lot of you are agency owners and running Facebook ads, you run a Facebook lead, I don't know, 50% to like 70% of Facebook leads are bad for the most part. People hate getting shitty leads. So if you're just sending them shitty leads that aren't responding, they're going to be pissed. If you're only sending them good leads that you've had a conversation with and collected all this information, they're a lot happier. Now you're not talking about your CPA, CPCs, CPMs on Facebook and Google. The only conversation that you're having is like, how many hot leads did I send you that booked a call with you? And what is that costing you? And how much profit, what was your ROI from that?
Mhm.
Rather than, yeah, I mean,
And
every
in-
industry is going to have different CPAs and stuff, but
Nowhere in that conversation with that client are you really talking about an AI chatbot.
not at all.
No, there's no need, is there?
There you go.
We're offering you a service where someone actually, I'm having a conversation right now. They're like, time out, wait, you're like a booking agent for this niche? I didn't even know that exists. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I did not think about it like that. But
that's a good way to think
yes,
about it.
we are getting you more booked X and creating essentially like a new
Yeah.
service for a lot of industries.
I mean, that's a good opportunity right there. The appointment setter for X niche. There's a company out there that is for that, and you could basically just go and cut their cost in half
Yeah.
and offer the same thing, basically. And I know that's kind of, I'm saying that off cuff, but like you could probably do that.
Do they want to see the back end of how that's working?
The automation side,
Yeah.
That'd be good.
if you want, yeah, if you're comfortable sharing it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I don't know. If you want to keep recording.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So great stuff.
Brilliant.
Amazing. A game changer.
Game changer. Awesome. Yeah, so I think the kind of the vibe moving into the next couple weeks is we're going to continue to build out the strength of the platform. We're going to finish up adding the integrations tab in a couple of weeks here by getting these native integrations for those few channels, and then just start hammering out all the stuff that's on the roadmap, all these like little things that have been on there for quite a while. So
Awesome.
lots more updates to come.
Brilliant.
Cool. Any other questions, things you guys want to go over quickly?
Yeah, just a real quick one.
Yeah.
Or two. First of all, for the question that Tim was asking, I saw that when you were showing the debug mode, there was in the messages sent to GPT, there was literally written, "Do not answer any questions before you receive the email."
Mm-hmm.
So just a little, yeah, what I saw. But the second one, just quickly, is there any advantage of GPT-4 against the Turbo, even though it's because you said it's cheaper and it can handle more input?
Yeah. It will be the exact same otherwise. Like
All right.
it's better, cheaper, faster. And
Yeah, so there's no reason to use 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Just yes,
it's odd. And my prediction was that they were going to lower the price of 4, not introduce a whole new model at a cheaper price.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because that was the exact opposite of how they did 3.5 to 4. 4 was 30 times more expensive. So
yeah, well, good for us, right?
Good for us, exactly, right? Yeah. Well, I'm already hearing rumors that they're working on Gobi, which is, I guess, their code name for GPT-5. Apparently, GPT-4 Turbo was codename Arrakis. So gotta love the Dune names. Yeah. Cool. I think that's it for today. If anybody else has any other things you want to chat quickly or
All good.
Thanks, Ross.
Thanks, Ross.
Sean?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll be posting
Thank you, Ross.
in the Discord and we'll
you.
talk next week.
All right.
Cool. Thanks. See ya.